Welcome to the Yoga Method. Today we are celebrating the holiday season and the gift of friendship. Yeah. So today I have the absolute divine pleasure of having Nikki O'Donnell, environmental scientist and yoga teacher and friend and student, and Virginia, who has been one of my students probably since day one. Yeah. So we are here to just remind you that yoga is all about connection to ourselves, to each other. And this season and yoga is always enriched by the people we love. So come and join us at the right end of your mat. And if you too would like to bring some tinsel into this party, we'd love for you to do so. We might lose our tinsel halfway. We're not sure how this is going to go. But standing in Samasthiti with hands at heart center in Anjali Mudra. And just closing down the windows of our eyes. Beginning to breathe into this moment. Inviting breath. Inviting connection. And celebrating the gifts of this season. Taking one more breath as we are. And then we'll release our hands and open our eyes. We'll circle and sweep our hands high overhead. And on the exhalation, we'll just forward fold very slowly, very gently, as it's very early in the morning still. And we'll give our bodies just a moment to really feel how they are feeling while I start my timer. Please take a moment to really release your head and shoulders. And tinsel might become a problem in forward folding, we're discovering. We'll try and use it for a moment more. One more breath, please. And on your inhalation, please lifting through heads, through hearts, and we'll just step our feet back to high plank. And landing our knees and taking child's pose, please. So knees wide, releasing head, releasing shoulders. Oh, I'm so sorry, I'm taking off my tinsel already. Darn it. But we'll use it as a prop at the front of the mat. So staying for 3 more breaths in child's pose. And then we'll just move through a little flow to help warm up our bodies more. Last 2. One more full breath, please. And on your next inhalation, I'd like you to rise up onto your hands and knees. And let's just tuck our toes and move into downward facing dog again. Tinsel 2 coming off. Please inviting it. Nikki's going to be determined to keep it on the entire practice. So in your down dog, please take a moment to move in any way that feels good to your body. We definitely need to take time to warm up. Spreading through fingers, spreading through toes. Let's just take one more full, deep, deep, deep breath in with movement. And then finding stillness when the time is right for you. Lengthening through arms, through legs, through spines. Tucking our chins to look between our feet or between our knees. One more full deep breath in and out. On the inhalation to the tips of our toes. On the out breath, bending the knees, looking towards the end of the mat, walking. Lifting and lengthening once you've arrived, and exhaling into your forward fold. Please rise and reach all the way up to extended mountain before hands come to our heart center to Samasthiti. One more round as we warm the body, so circle and sweep hands high as you take a breath in. And on the out breath, easing our way into our forward fold, releasing head and shoulders last. On the in breath, hands to shins or fingertips to floor, flat back extension. Before we step or hop, but then I'd like for you to just land your knees, please. On your inhalation, take a happy cat, lifting head, lifting chin, lifting chest. And on your exhalation, heels to your hips, hips to your heels as you move into child's pose, please. And then as we take this next breath in, leave your toes tucked and just see if you could lift your hips to your downward facing dog. And on your exhalation, just sinking through your heels. So let's build a little flow with that. On your in-breath, ripple forward to high plank. On your exhalation, land your knees and pause. Inhale, lift your chin, lift your chest, lift your heart. And on the exhalation, heels and hips meet as we sink back to child's pose. Tuck your toes, lift your hips as the breath comes into your down dog. Exhale, descending through your heels any amount that feels good. One more time, we ripple forward to high plank. On the out breath, just land your knees and pause. Inhale, happy cat. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, lifting hips to downward facing dog. And exhale to release your heels. Stay and breathe for one more extra breath, please. And when you're ready, on the in-breath to the tips of the toes, bend the knees looking towards the end of your mat, walking or hopping if you feel ready. Lift and lengthen. Exhaling to pour yourself into your forward fold. Rise and reach all the way up. Spread your wings, touch the sky. Hands down and around to heart center, Samastitihi. So coming into Utkatasana, I'm tucking in a shirt. Come low as you sink into chair pose. Hands reach high, maybe palms press, entirely up to you. Taking one more full breath in. And on your exhalation, just ease your way over into your forward fold. On the in-breath, lifting heads, lifting hearts before we step or hop and lower through our first chaturanga on knees or toes, taking a baby cobra or an upward facing dog. And I'd love for you just to move into child's pose, please. So I'm not sure about your spines, but mine feels like it needs a little extra love before we move into our flow. So could you please walk your hands towards the left side of your mat, opening up through the right side of the torso, choosing any variation with your arms that feels best to your body in this moment. One more full breath. Before gently walking your hands to the other side of the mat. That's okay. So finding length through the left side of your torso and flooding the breath into those places, those spaces where you're feeling this the most. One more full, deep, deep, deep breath in and out. Please return to the midline of your mat, spreading through the fingers as you prepare to move back into your downward facing dog. So lifting hips high, descending through your heels, taking one more full round of breath in and out. On your inhalation to the tips of the toes. On the out breath, bend the knees, look to the end of the mat. Walking or hopping if you feel ready. Lift and lengthen once we've arrived. Exhaling into forward fold. Utkatasana, take chair pose as the hands rise with the in-breath before standing tall to Samastitihi. So building our flow. Coming into Utkatasana, sit low, breath in. On the exhalation, pour yourself into your forward fold, releasing your head and shoulders. On the in-breath, hands to shins or fingertips to floor, flat back extension. Before stepping or hopping, transitioning through chaturanga, knees or toes. A baby cobra or an upward facing dog. Before we lift our hips up and back, downward facing dog. Right leg is rising, but let's leave the pelvis level to begin with. Really focusing on the length of the arms, the legs, and not concerned at all by height. Taking one more full breath in stillness. And on your next in-breath, lifting to the tips of your left toes, look between your hands, right foot coming through to warrior two. So pivot your back heel, rising up and sinking into your right knee, checking you've got good hip and knee alignment. Listen through your front hand, flip the palm, take chin mudra. And in your back hand, the palm is grounded, and we're taking Gyan Mudra. So it's thumb and index finger meeting on each hand. Palm upwards is Chin Mudra. Palm downwards is Gyan Mudra. Gazing towards the front hand, staying and breathing for 2 more breaths. One more full deep breath in and out. On your in-breath, lengthen through your front leg. Just release both palms to ceiling. Turn your toes towards us. Take a breath in that really creates expansion across the heart, even lifting your eyes for a moment. Taking one more full deep breath in. And on your exhalation, just tip yourselves forward. Bend your knees as much as you need. Grounding your hands. Nikki's still got her tinsel. She's doing so well. Press your hands into the earth, lifting hands, lifting hearts, before we just gently bow our heads in. Walk your hands in between your feet, any amount that feels good. And please, just keeping the amount of knee bend that honors how your body is feeling. 2 breaths remaining. One more full deep breath in and out. On our inhalation, we're going to lift our heads, our hearts. We're walking our feet towards Virginia's end, and we're pivoting to a low lunge. So hands staying grounded, knee above ankle. Really extend and power through the back leg as you endeavor to lengthen and lift through the heart. 2 breaths remaining. One more full breath in and out. We're stepping to the other end of our mat as we breathe in together, lifting heads, lifting hearts. And on the exhalation, forward fold, please. Take a seat into chair pose. Reach your hands forward. Standing tall on the out breath to Samastitihi. Come low, come deep into Utkatasana. Breath in. On the exhalation, forward folding, lifting the hips, releasing the head. On the in-breath, hands to shins or fingertips to floor, flat back extension. Before stepping or hopping, transitioning straight and strong, knees or toes, chaturanga. Baby cobra, upward facing dog, energized back body. Before lifting up and back, downward facing dog. It's your left leg that's lifting. Your pelvis is level. You're gazing at your right big toe. So focusing on lengthening arms, legs, and spine. Taking one more full breath in and out. On the inhalation to the tips of your right toes, look between your hands, stepping through warrior 2. So windmill that arm, leveling off, just setting up the posture first. And then spinning your left palm to ceiling, taking chin mudra. Back hand stays towards the earth, taking Gyan mudra. Expansion across the heart. Feeling connection to your feet, connection to your breath. Breath and movement is the cornerstone to our vinyasa practice. One more full deep breath in and out. We'll turn both palms to ceiling, releasing the mudra, lengthening through that leg, turn toes towards us, taking that breath into extension, a little baby back bend. And on the exhalation, bend your knees as much as you need to come into a wide leg forward fold. One breath to lift the heads, to lift our hearts, and on our exhalation, gently easing our way in. So press into the pinky toe side of the foot, engaging through the muscles in your legs, your quadriceps in particular, and a tiny little shift forward into the balls of the feet if the body will allow. Just one more breath. And on your next inhalation, press the earth away, lifting heads, lifting hearts, pivoting towards the right end of your mat, staying here in a low supported lunge. How straight, how strong can you make your back leg? Finding the lift of the chin, the lift of the chest. Taking 2 more breaths. One more full deep breath in and out. On the inhalation, step to the end of your mat, lifting heads, lifting hearts. On the out breath, diving slowly into your forward fold. Take a seat, Utkatasana chair pose, hands lift as we breathe in, standing tall to Samastitihi. So building our flow. Inhale, come low, come deep, listen. Hands draw right to the heart center in prayer. Right elbow to left thigh. Finding just a little bit of rotation as we pause in chair pose. Checking that your big toes are touching, your knees are together, and you're pressing down in order to lift up for 2 more breaths. One more full deep breath in and out. On the inhale, return to the midline. And on your exhalation, forward fold. Inhale, hands to shins or fingertips to floor, flat back. Stepping or hopping, lowering through our chaturanga, knees or toes. Energize an open front body by engaging back body before lifting ourselves up and back, down dog. Right leg is rising, pelvis stays level. Just stay for a breath, please. On the inhalation to the tips of your left toes, look between your hands, warrior two. Pivot the back heel, rising only when you're ready, sinking in. Front palm towards the sky, chin mudra, backhand gyan mudra. Staying for one breath. And then from here, I would just like you to reach over your right knee. So this gesture of giving, feeling the strength of your feet, your legs, your core. As you take one more full deep breath in and out, please return to the center. Release your mudra. Turn the toes. Take a breath into your back bend shape before easing your way into your forward fold. Pausing here for a moment, please. Place your left hand right underneath your face. Right hand into the curve of your lower back. Turning away from your left hand, stacking shoulders, endeavoring to keep pelvis level, which is tricky to do, and only taking your right hand high if your shoulders will allow. Wherever you are, gazing to the floor, to the side, or your top arm. One more full deep breath in, and on the out breath, threading all the way through underneath until you catch your left leg. Both hands will now go to your left calf, ankle, bowing gently into forward fold with a little bit of lateral flexion. Energize your feet, your core, and allow the breath to center you. United by our breath, united by the gift of yoga. Taking one more full breath, please. When the time is right for you, simply lift your heads, lift your hearts, turning towards the left end of your mat, staying for a moment just in this low lunge. But I'd like for you to shorten your stance, widen your stance to come to pyramid pose. So we begin to lengthen through our left leg, lifting through our heart, and then only if it feels like there's room to play with, just taking a little bit more depth into your bow. Draw the left hip back, right hip forward, staying and breathing for 2 more breaths as you're feeling that beautiful sensation all the way through the back of your left leg. On your next inhalation, you'll press the earth away, you'll lift your heads, you'll lift your hearts, and on your exhalation, step your feet together and release your head and shoulders, please. Utkatasana as the breath comes into the body, standing tall, standing proud to Samastitihi. Come low into Utkatasana, repeating that on the other side. Hands to prayer, draw them right to your hearts, turning your left elbow to your right thigh. So spiraling, choosing to check where your eye gaze is resting, and we're lowering our pelvis, if we can, beneath our shoulder line. Press down in order to lift the heart. Staying for 2 more breaths, please. One more full deep breath in and out. On the in-breath, return to your midline. On the exhalation, cascade yourself into your forward fold. Inhale, hands to shins, fingertips to floor, flat back. Before stepping or hopping, traveling through your chaturanga, knees or toes. We open, collarbones broad, lifting chin, lifting chest, before lifting our hips up and back, downward facing dog. It's your left leg that's rising, keeping your pelvis level, shoulders square, pressing energetically through your feet. As you take one more full round of breath in and out. On the in-breath, tips of the toes, stepping between the hands, taking warrior two as soon as you are ready. So chin mudra will come to front hand as we flip the palm, gyan mudra to the back hand. And then reaching over your left leg as far as it feels right for your body. Finding that connection between front hand and back hand, between front leg and back leg. One more full deep breath in and out. Return the shoulders right above the hips. Lengthen your front leg. Turn and open. Back bend shape as we take the breath in. Moving into our wide leg forward fold as the breath comes out. Stacking right hand underneath your face. Looping the left hand across your lower back. Turning your shoulders, stacking one upon the other. Press more into your right foot than you think you need to. And only reaching skywards if your top shoulder will allow. Gazing where the eye gaze feels best. Last two breaths, please. One more full deep breath before threading through. So left hand is searching for the right calf, ankle, and then bring your right hand to join in. Nestle your chest towards your thigh. Feeling that beautiful stretch coming now through the adductor as well as the hamstring. 2 breaths remaining. One more full deep breath in and out. On your in-breath, just lifting through the chest, grounding the hands, and pivoting towards the long edge of your mat, short edge of the mat. Take one more breath before you begin to shorten your stance and widen your stance for pyramid pose. So lengthening through the front leg, lifting through the heart as we breathe in, and then easing our way any amount into this position. Right hip back, left hip forward as we stay and breathe for 3 more breaths. For 2. One more full breath in and out. On your in-breath, lifting through your head, lifting through your heart, bending into your right knee, stepping to the end of the mat as you pour yourself into your forward fold. Bend your knees, take that seat, Utkatasana, before standing tall on the exhalation to Samastitihi. Last time through our flow. Come low into your Utkatasana, full breath in when the time is right. Draw the hands to your heart center, please. Turning your right elbow towards your left thigh. Variation 1, we'll stay here. Variation 2, you're welcome to wiggle your right hand towards the earth and take your left arm high. Arm balance is probably not a good option since we're on a little bit of a slope. Last 2 breaths as you are. One more full deep breath in. And on the exhalation, return your hands to prayer. Inhale back to the center line before pouring yourself into your forward fold, please. Inhale, lift your heads, lift your hearts. And on the out breath, stepping or hopping, transitioning chaturanga, eyes forward, belly strong. How active can you make your legs as you open to your back bend before lifting hips up and back, downward facing dog. Right leg is rising, keeping the pelvis level, please. Gazing to that big toe as you press energetically through your heel. On your inhalation, lift to the tips of your left toes. You know where you're going. Chin mudra, warrior 2 with gyan mudra. So finding the connection to the tips of the finger and the thumb and extending over the right leg. Offering energy, connection, support. One more full deep breath in and out. Please move to Sun Warrior now, keeping your mudras, reaching the hands high, sinking low, opening through the right side of the torso, feeling the strength coming into the legs. One more full deep breath in and out. Please lengthen the arms once again back to your warrior two before taking a moment to lengthen through your right leg, turning towards us. Begin to turn the toes out as you sink low, and then both hands are coming towards Nick's side, and we're just pressing the palms away. Taking a breath in together. Take a breath out together. On your next inhalation, sweep the arms between. And on your exhalation, push and pause. Inhale, come low. Exhale, breathe out. Last two. Inhaling. One more time to return to Nikki's side. Exhale, pause. Sweep your arms open. Once again, lengthen your legs. Take that baby back bend shape. Before easing your way in, turn your toes slightly in. Last time to stack, left hand underneath the face, right hand to the curve of the lower back. Spinning the shoulders, keeping the pelvis level, sending your right arm high, only if it feels right for you. Feel the connection to your feet, your legs, your core, your breath. Taking one more full deep breath in. Before we thread that arm all the way through. That's okay. Switch sides, Virginia. That's all right. And when you're ready, finding a little bit more depth just towards the eye. Maybe gazing this last time over your left shoulder. Last two breaths. One more full deep breath in and out. Beautiful, crew. Finding the earth, frame your foot, pivoting to the left end of your mat, a lift of the heart, a lift of the head. Before you shorten your stance, widen your stance, and move to your pyramid pose. Take a breath in to lengthen everything, and on the out breath, easing your way in. Option 1, we stay exactly as we are. Variation 2, you're welcome to loop both hands across the curve of your lower back. So holding on just to your fingertips or your wrist, just taking that balance away requires a little bit more strength of you. There's only one more breath remaining. And when you're ready, slide your hands back down to the earth. Take a moment to lift your head, lift your heart, shift the weight into your left leg, and just see if you could begin to lift through your back leg. So coming into a supported warrior 3, we're leveling through the pelvis, we're lifting through the head, we're lifting through the hearts, finding 3 more breaths here. For 2. We've got this. One more deep breath in, and on the exhalation, releasing the feet to the mat as you release your head and shoulders. Breath in, bend your knees, Utkatasana, reach hands forward, standing tall to Samastitihi. This is it, last one. Come low into your Utkatasana. Pull the hands right to your hearts in prayer. Twisting your left elbow towards your right thigh, option to stay, or spreading your wings by wiggling your left arm down, right hand high. Gazing to the earth, to the front, or to your top thumb. Last 2 breaths, please. One more full, deep, smooth breath in. And on the exhalation, hands return to prayer. Inhale back to the midline and ease your way into your forward fold. Breath in, shine the light of your heart forward as you lift and lengthen. Breath out to step or hop, transferring through. I'm hoping your last chaturanga, baby cobra, upward facing dog. Before we lift ourselves up and back, down dog. Left leg is rising. Pelvis is level. How long, how strong can we make the body in this position? As we stay for one more full breath in and out to the tips of your toes. Stepping through warrior 2 with your chin mudra. So chin mudra on your left hand, Gyan mudra on your right. And then this gesture of giving as we reach beyond our left knee. Energize your back leg. Feel the lift of the pelvic floor, the strength of your belly. One more full deep breath in. And out, sun warrior, keeping your mudras, reaching high, sinking low. Expansion through the left side of the torso. Maybe a millimeter more in the depth of your legs. One more full, deep breath in and out. We're opening the chest again. We're releasing the mudra as we lengthen through the legs. We've got to turn our toes out and sit into horse stance, goddess stance. Hands move towards Virginia side. We press the hands away as we breathe out. Sweep low as you breathe in. Pause, breathe out. Sweep low as you breathe in. Pause as you breathe out. Last two. One more time. Find that exhalation and that moment of stillness before you sweep your arms wide, lengthen your legs, create that little baby back bend before easing your way into your forward fold. So toes turn slightly inwards, grounding your right hand underneath your face, left hand curve at the back, turning to stack your shoulders, perhaps sending your left hand high. Looking to the floor, to the side, or to your top thumb. Energize your feet, your legs, your core. Take one more glorious breath in before coming all the way down and under. Capture your right calf. Take second hand to join it. Nestle yourself in. Feeling the warmth in the body, feeling a little bit more length as we have continued to bring more depth to each round. Last full breath in and out. On your in-breath, just lift your heads, your hearts. We're pivoting to a low runner's lunge, lifting through the heart just for one breath before we shorten the stance, widen the stance, and move to pyramid pose. One breath to lift the heart. One exhalation to bow in. Right hip back, left hip forward. And then only if it feels safe for you, looping the hands across the back of your sacrum, bowing as far as this feels safe, beautiful, therapeutic to your body. One more full, deep breath in and out. Ground your hands, lift your heads, bend into your right knee, and begin to lift into your back leg for a supported warrior 3. Level the pelvis, lift the heart, finding as much length as you can through your arms, your legs, your spines. Staying for 2 more breaths. One more full, deep, smooth, beautiful breath in. And on your exhalation, please release into your forward fold. Listen, pausing here for a moment. And I'm going to invite you to walk back just a little bit so you're not right at the end of your mat. How about we go right to the middle? That was well orchestrated. We might be able to grab our tinselic and soon Virginia. Lift your head and hearts. Bend your knees and come just onto the balls of your feet into a little toe stand, toe balance. And I'd like for you to open your knees a little bit. So option to keep the hands on the floor and option to just bring the hands to prayer. So let's pause here for a moment, strengthening our feet, testing our balance, finding so much steadiness in our eyes to hold our bodies still. Just 2 more breaths. One more full breath. We'll all ground our hands to the earth, and then I'd like for us to bring our knees to the earth. You got it. Release your feet for a moment and just rest your hands on your knees. And then from here, would it be possible to reach your hands behind you? And just taking a gentle heart opener, quadricep stretch. So pouring into the front body, all the breath. This heart opening posture, just preparing us for a camel pose. So collarbones are broad and you're deliberately really drawing your shoulder blades back. 2 more breaths remaining. One more breath, please. And only when the time is right for you, the chin will move towards the chest. We'll walk ourselves back up so our hands are resting on our thighs. And then please just stack your hips above your knees. And we'll begin by tucking our toes. Palms are pressing, hands are reaching forward for a moment. So really take this time to scoop the tailbone. Feel the pelvic floor and the core switching on, as well as your glutes, please. Variation 1, this is it. We don't need to do anything other than strengthen in this posture. Variation 2, we'll reach our hands high overhead, and then it is your left hand that will either catch your left hip or perhaps catch your left heel. So I'm going to leave it up to you to decide what feels best for you in this moment. So front body open, but it is the back body that we need all the strength in to support a safe back bend. Gazing to your thumb or gazing forward. Just taking 2 more breaths, please. One more full breath in and out. On your inhalation, reaching high with your left hand, and then easing your right hand to your right hip, preparing for second side. So to the hip or to the heel, really energizing back body to bring support. Is your pelvic floor lifted? Is your navel drawing towards your spine? Steady the eyes and open through the heart for 2 more breaths. One more full deep breath in and out. On the in-breath, reaching high as you neutralize the spine. And please just bring your hands to your thighs as you sit your hips back towards your heels. Toes tucked or toes flat, whatever feels best for your ankles. Taking 1 breath here. Before we return to our toe stand again. So when the time is right for you, you'll reach your hands to the front of your mat. You'll tuck your toes. You'll press back onto your tippy toes with your knees wide. So option 1, we're keeping the hands grounded, just strengthening toes, feet, ankles. Variation 2, you could balance with your hands in prayer. Variation 3 is a crow pose. Nikki's our arm balancing lover. So Virginia and I can stay wherever we like. From here, if you're working on crow, you could absolutely just lift through 1 foot for a breath or 2 before you would exchange to the other side. And it's the knees moving towards the tricep with the key of keeping your eye gaze lifted. Wherever you are in this moment, celebrate it as you take 2 more breaths. One more breath before we all meet back in our toe stand. Good job. Pausing for 1 more breath before we all once again release our hands to the earth, release our knees to the earth. Toes tucked or toes flat as you move your hands back behind you once again. So the further we walk the hands away, the deeper you'll feel this through your quadriceps, through your flexor. And then the more we emphasize the opening and the lifting of the front of the body, the more sensation we'll begin to experience. Taking 3 more breaths. Taking 1 more full breath in. And on the exhalation, return your chin towards your chest if your head was bowed back. Ease your way forward and come right back up onto your knees. So toes are flat now, and we bring hands just in front of our hearts as we did to begin with. Energize the tuck of the tail, the lift of the core, and then send both hands high for a moment on the in-breath. Please circle both arms down and around to catch the top of your pelvis. And this is where we can stay for variation 1. Variation 2, you're welcome to tuck your toes so your heels are a little bit closer as you ease your way back. And variation 3, if your toes are flat, finding the amount of back bend that feels really glorious to your body this morning. Press your pelvis forward. Deliberately broaden the collarbones. And keeping the neck where it feels best for you for these last 2 breaths, please. 1 more full breath in and out. The inhalation, use your quads, use your inner thigh to propel you upwards. And then sit your hips back towards your heels before walking your hands forward and taking a counter pose in child's pose, please. Letting go of all of the effort. Take a moment to really gently rock your pelvis from side to side. Just loosening anything in those paraspinals that became tight through the effort of your back bends. And then finding the connection to the breath. The breath uniting movement. The breath clearing the cobwebs in the mind. Taking one more full breath, please. When you are ready, we are moving back into our downward facing dog. So we'll shift our weight forward. We'll tuck our toes. We'll lift the pelvis high. Taking a moment here just to really once again feel the body. And then when you are ready, it will be your your right leg, which is Virginia's left leg. And I'd like for you to open your pelvis this time. So bending through that top knee, any amount that feels good, pressing the foot towards us. And if anybody would like to flip their dogs, by all means. Any takers? Yep. All right, here we go. So we're all flipping. Reaching high with the right hand or reaching that arm overhead. Press down into your feet. Lift up through your pelvis. Taking 2 more breaths here. Strengthening back body, opening front body. 1 more deep breath before spotting your landing. Flipping your dog back, taking that 3-legged dog, and the reward is pigeon pose. Easing your way in. Please remember, we can always keep back knee bent and only looping up and over. Now, I'm pretty sure I can get this tinsel back on. Let's give it our best shot. Oh yeah, so much better. Take a moment to really lift through the chest, through the chin. And then please ease your way down to your forearms if you like. Nick's going to demonstrate a quadricep version. Virginia's going to bow low, and I'm just going to demonstrate a rotation version. So anything goes. As Nikki would say, choose your own adventure. Listening to your own body. There's 3 more breaths on offer. Changing shape anytime you wish. One more full deep breath in and out. When the time is right for you, releasing the version that you took, we'll ground our hands beneath our shoulders. We'll all meet Nikki elevated with the heart open. We'll take a little seat on our right cheek before we bring our left leg around. So just a modified Janu Shirshasana A. Right foot is above or below the knee. I'd like for you to ground into your left hand. Reach your right hand high. Flip your thumb and come across the line of the body, holding on to the calf, the Achilles, or maybe the pinky toe side of the foot. Using your left hand to gently press you forward, your right hand to gently pull you forward. So much beautiful sensation as we open the left hamstring, as we open the back of the right hip, and spiral the torso towards the pinky toe side. Last 2 breaths. One more full breath, please. On your inhalation, just lift your heads and hearts. Back off of this a little bit and come into a little bit of rotation. So we're just turning chest towards the front. From here, we're going to keep the rotation, but we'll lift through our backhand, flip the thumb and bring it into the curve of the lower back. So we're anchored with the right hand, revolving to look over our left shoulder. And then if it feels good, you're welcome to slide back towards that pinky toe, recreating the rotation once you find the version that feels best in this moment. So the holiday season and yoga, everything is better when it's shared with friends. And the gift of our yoga community is it transcends ages and it invites this connection across the generations. Taking 2 more breaths wherever you are. 1 more deep, smooth, beautiful breath in and out. On your inhalation, just ease your way up if you bowed forward. And on your exhalation, release your twist. We'll bring both legs out in front to bend both knees. This is Nikki's creation. This is called toddler wobbles. And 'tis the season for toddlers to have wobbles. So option 1 with your boat pose, your toes are grounded. Variation 2, your feet lift. And variation 3, anything goes. So you just kind of start moving in any way that feels really good to you. Envisioning parents with young children in the shops, chuckling wobblies. We are definitely having a little bit of a toddler wobble. There's 3, 4 more breaths here. It just feels good sometimes to move and not be so stagnant. Last 2, and our yoga practice should be joy-filled, should be playful. 1 more breath before we find our stillness in our boat pose and gently releasing out. However you get to downward facing dog, you might roll over, you might swing the legs around, but we'll all meet in downward facing dog. Tinsel challenges again. And it is your left leg that's rising. Beautiful. You'll bend your knee as you open through the hip, pausing here for a moment really to feel the gift of this position. And then if you flipped your dog, you're going to do so again by lifting to the ball of your right toes, pivoting. Oops, I just kicked Virginia, the gift of friendship. Reaching high with your left hand or taking it overhead if you did on the first side. Press down into whatever's on the earth in order to lift upwards for 2 more breaths. One more deep breath in before we spot our landing. Follow your eyes, lifting through your left leg again before transitioning to your version of pigeon on the other side. So sitting on the hip with 90-90 or lifting up and over. Nikki will demonstrate your quadricep hip flexor stretch. Virginia's bowing low, and I'm going to rotate my back away from you. So just exploring, right? We never want to be so stagnant within our yoga practice that we never give ourselves the opportunity to explore. Yoga is primarily and most importantly this idea of your own experience, your own journey. And every posture invites you into this deeper awareness of your own body and what it is your body is asking of you. There's 3 more breaths on offer. For 2. One more full, deep, smooth, delicious breath in and out. Before you release the version that you took, you'll ground your hands underneath your shoulders. You'll lift through your hearts to meet Nikki up above. It's a seat on your left cheek you're taking before swinging your right leg around. So Janu Shasana, bending through your left knee, and then also taking a bend through your right if it feels best. Right hand to the earth, left hand high as we breathe in. Flip the thumb and begin to reach for your calf, your Achilles, or the pinky toe side of your right foot. We're staying here by gently pressing with our right hand, gently pulling with our left, and inviting that little bit of rotation through the torso. So playing with angles, bringing a childlike sense of curiosity to each posture, even if you've done it a gazillion times. What am I feeling? How could I modify this so it feels even better? And most importantly, am I breathing fully, deeply, mindfully? Am I connected to my body, to my breath, and this moment? One more full, deep breath in and out. On the in-breath, we'll sit tall, but we're leaving the shape as it is as we turn to twist to look over our right shoulder. So drawing the toes back on the right foot, energizing the right quadricep. Please reach your right hand outwards, and that's hard to do. So using your core for support before you flip the thumb and bring that hand into the curve of your lower back or your waist. And then maintaining the twist, we slide forward again, perhaps towards our ankle or towards the pinky toe. So flexion with rotation, finding breath, and really feel that moment of stillness at the top of your inhalation. Experience that moment of stillness at the base of your exhalation. And just taking 2 more smooth, deep, mindful breaths. A sense of curiosity, a sense of playfulness, a sense of joy as we explore the breath in the body. When the time is right for you, the inhalation will lift a little bit, and on the exhalation, you'll release your twist, taking legs out in front. Give them a little shake if you need. Do we want one more toddler wobble? I think we do. So bend your feet, bend your knees. Variation 1, we're staying here. Variation 2. And then anything goes. Moving in a way that just feels delightful, playful, joyful. And everything's better when you share it with friends. Even toddler wobbles. Last 2 breaths with a little bit of movement. I may not get back up. One more breath. And when the time is right for you, find your stillness in boat pose. Before gently releasing your feet, and let's lay ourselves down. Celebrating your efforts. And once you've landed, you'll hug your knees to your hearts. The tinsel. The tinsel's getting itchy, Nikki says. She's done so well to keep it on. When the time is right, we'll invite a gentle rock. And finally, the sunshine is tucked behind the trees, so Virginia's no longer battling with full sun. All right, beautiful crew. We're grounding our feet, and we're coming into Supta Baddha Konasana, so butterfly pose. I'd like for you to engage the feet together and allow gravity to really just open the front of the pelvis for a moment. Please place your left hand on your heart, your right hand on your tummy, closing down your eyes. So the gift of this holiday season, always enriched by friendship and family. And sometimes our family are our friends. Our yoga sangha, our yoga community, our yoga family. Always there to uplift and support each other. Learning and growing together, but most importantly, playing and laughing and loving together. Taking one more breath into this beautiful moment. Before we release our hands, gently open our eyes, but we're leaving our feet in Baddha Konasana, and we're using this as our bridging, our back bend shape today. So you'll press the soles of the feet together, you'll anchor your palms to the earth, and then you might just energize and not lift. But if it feels possible to lift, you'll tuck the tailbone, you'll engage through the glutes, you'll maintain the connection to your core. So pressing down into the pinky toe side of the feet, really deliberately using the muscles in the back of the pelvis to not only extend us, but to open us. So this external rotation through the ball and socket joint. There's 3 more breaths. On your in-breath, can you lift just a little bit higher? On your out-breath, we just stay. 2 more breaths. One more. And when you are ready, peeling your way down 1 vertebra at a time through the upper, middle, lower back, and finally the tailbone releases. Just close your eyes. Feel the openness that comes after contracting the muscles. A deeper sense of letting go as you melt consciously through the head, through your shoulders, through your spine and your pelvis. Taking 2 more breaths. And when you are ready, please open your eyes. If you close them, bring the knees back together. We're coming into our happy baby pose. Or if candlestick is part of your practice, you're welcome to go there. Are we staying here, ladies?
Yeah.
Okay, we're staying here. So just a few moments in stillness with our ankles stacking above our knees stacking above our shoulders or our armpits. Consciously draw the chin in to lengthen the back of the neck and allow your tailbone to really grow heavy. Just taking 2 more breaths with stillness. And only if you wish, inviting a little bit of movement, just that gentle, gentle rock, mobilizing our lower back, bringing a little bit of gentle mobilization to our sacroiliac joints. Always guided by the breath. One more breath with movement. And then pausing in stillness, please. Your left heel moves towards your sit bone, your ischial tuberosity, and your left leg, did I say left leg twice? So your right leg is in, your left leg is opening, pardon me. So just exploring a little bit more length through the back of your left leg. Both feet are in dorsiflexion, and really energize the pressing through your left heel. And when you and your body decide the time is right, you'll draw your left heel to your hip bone, your sit bone, and you'll begin to open any amount through your right leg. Your shoulders remain grounded. Your spine remains relaxed, but you're pressing energetically through your right heel, maximizing the length as you enjoy the sensation. Last 2 breaths. And then either bringing both feet towards your sit bones or that final variation of opening through both legs any amount. So toes draw back, pressing through your heels, gently using the arms to deepen the stretch, gently, mindfully, patiently. And then please finding just that little bit more depth to your breath. One more smooth, deep, mindful breath before gently returning your feet, returning your knees. Please hug yourselves tightly, rock your bodies gently, and we just need to finish with a tiny bit of rotation before our Shavasana. So when you feel like your back is released, you'll ground your feet. Please open your arms wide if your neighbor doesn't mind. And then it's a little tiny shift of your pelvis to your left, and your knees will gently move towards your right. So from here, we can leave both legs stacked. You could slide your top leg slightly forward. You could lengthen your top leg and reach for your foot, so it'd be your left hand being caught by your right. You're also welcome to lift your head and shoulders to reach for your other ankle. So there's so many variations we can play with in rotation. But your eyes are either to the ceiling or looking to your left. And then I'd like for you to close your eyes. And in your mind's eye, just envisioning a place where you feel loved. A place where you always feel welcomed and you always feel loved. Last two breaths. One more smooth, deep, heart-opening breath in and out. Your eyes will return to ceiling. You'll release the option you took as you restack your knees. And then we always want to use our core to bring us back safely to the midline. If you need to pause and hug your knees, please do. But as soon as you feel ready, a little shift of your pelvis to your right. Our knees will travel to our left. Top leg could slide ahead. Top leg could lengthen. You're welcome to lift your head and shoulders to reach for your bottom foot. But then roll your heart open to the ceiling. Turning your eye gaze to your right if your neck allows. And then closing down your eyes. Honoring the internal whispers of your body. Giving thanks in this moment for this body. There's one more full deep breath remaining. Before you gently return your eyes, release the option you chose as you restack your knees, and then carefully using your core to bring you back to the midline, please. Gather your knees to your hearts to deload your spines. And if there is anything else that your body is asking for, I invite you to take it. But the moment you feel ready, we'll come into Shavasana. Your knees could be together with your feet wide if you're having any lower back issues, or if your body will allow, lengthening through the legs, releasing through your head, releasing through your shoulders. As we close down the eyes, we celebrate the gifts of this holiday season. We celebrate the gift of friendship. And this class is a reminder that everything is better when we share it with people we love. So with our eyes closed and our awareness staying with our breath, in our mind's eye, we envision that place once again where we feel loved, where we feel seen, supported, uplifted, nurtured. We let that image go. We just allow our mind to watch our breath, consciously releasing, relaxing, consciously letting go of any tension that is remaining. We invite you to stay in Shavasana for as long as you can. But if you need to return to your day, we invite you to begin to breathe a little bit more fully, connecting to your breath, connecting to your body, and connecting to the people that you have just shared energy and breath with. The sacredness and the beauty of our yoga practice, and the friendships that it brings into our lives. And when you are ready, you'll breathe a little bit more deeply. You'll expand your awareness further before bringing mindful, gentle movement back into the body. Our fingers and our toes celebrate the season, and the movement becomes a little bit larger through our wrists, through our ankles, through our shoulders, and our necks. We'll gently begin to reach our arms overhead. You might tickle your neighbor's toes, perhaps, as you energize from fingertip to toe. Before sliding the arms down and around, bending the knees one at a time, hugging your knees to your hearts. Taking a gentle, gentle rock from side to side. Before rolling towards us, we take a moment to pause with the eyes remaining closed. Just one more breath here in side lying before you press the earth away and help yourselves up to a seated position, please. Any position that the body will allow as our hands come to our heart center in Anjali Mudra. Celebrating the season, celebrating the gifts of friendship, of yoga. So much love and gratitude for these two women behind me. Thank you for sharing your time, your energy with us. We'll take one last full breath together before closing our practice with a bow. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your energy. Thank you for sharing this session with us. From our hearts to yours, namaste. Good job.